That's why we have, if you look in Federal Rules Civil Procedure, what's called Rule 17A. That's called ratification of commencement. You may have never heard this word. If you do not know exactly what ratification of commencement is, you better be friggin' writing this down, okay? That pertains to real party and interest. Bill was talking about standing. Standing is everything. Standing stems from being a real party and interest. Obtaining real party and interest standing can be questioned via ratification of commencement, Rule 17A. The first 30 times you read Rule 17A, your head will spin like you're imitating The Exorcist. After a while, you will understand it.
Thank you. Okay, I have one more thing on the acknowledgement that we discussed earlier. You and I discussed about you bringing that up. Do you want to just let us know your thoughts on whether or not, if the deed of trust is dated one day and the notarization is done on another, if that's an issue, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I believe it is. And it's been brought up in the past, and but that's something, like I said earlier, it's something to address. And again, I don't think it's been addressed in court. I've not heard it in the court cases that I've been involved with, but I believe it is something that you should all look at and address. Yeah.
Okay, back to the previous point. What time are you coming tomorrow?
I believe we mentioned 1:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill's going to be here at 1:30 tomorrow. If you have to leave tomorrow, we'll give like 20 minutes for the people that have to leave tomorrow. There again, be respectful. If you're not leaving till Monday, wait till Monday. If you're leaving tomorrow and you're out of town, just, exchange information so you know each other. The rest of it can be done by email. Okay.
John, we got a web question again.
Okay.
Two questions, if we can. Original mortgage documents, will they be stamped on each page or just on the top page of the document, the originals?
Well, typically, it is stamped on the first page of page 1. That would coincide with if there were 5 pages on a note. So that would be stamped one page. And then if they were providing, let's say, original copy of a deed of trust, it would be stamped on the first page of those documents. So only one page needs to be stamped that would complete all 5 pages of the document.
Okay. And do you have any tips on how to determine what trust pool a mortgage was sold through?
Yes, I have tips.
Spend 30 years in the friggin' bankruptcy or the banking industry and then sit at a desk and hunt it down.
Right. You know what it really comes down to, and I'll answer it, is it's research. And sometimes, like I said, the 2 toughest ones that I have had to research was Royal Bank of Scotland, which happened to be a case we're looking at. That was really tough. And then the other one was, even the SEC did not know the acronym for CCB. And it took me about a month to find what CCB stood for and where that trust was. And again, I mentioned CCB stands for China Commercial Bank. I'd love to. Send me, Send me okay. Well, I don't have the documents here, but I'll...
Doesn't CCB hold like $3 trillion in promissory notes? And SEC didn't know?
No. I have a contact in SEC that I deal with quite a bit. He could not come up with it. CCB is China Commercial Bank. And if you read into more of the China Commercial Bank, they own, like you said, it's like trillions of dollars worth of mortgage-backed securities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, we still got David.
In the answer to how you find that out, I never knew until I got my notice of default on 2 properties, And I'm just going to read briefly 3 lines here. It says, the current creditor to whom this debt is owned, well, let me interrupt there. It was originally, I took out the loan with First Franklin Financial.
Right.
But it says on my notice of default, your debt is owned by Deutsche Bank National Trust Company as trustee for FFMLT Trust 2005 FF8 and mortgage pass-through certificate, so on and so forth. But it's interesting to note that I never knew that until I got the notice of default on other people's documents. I've seen it on the notice of trustee sale. And so if you look on that, you might be able to find out where the trust went into. But I also took this information and I looked on an IRS form, or publication 936,
Right.
which lists all the REMICs and collateralized debt obligations. And on this mortgage, I was able to go through and find FFMLT Trust 2005 FF8 there. But on this other notice of default I have on another property, it's saying that this is a MLMI Trust Series 2005 BC4. I could not find that one in that IRS publication, nor could I find any resemblance of that on, or semblance of that on the SEC website or that Edgar database search. I did find this FFMLT, but I could not find this MLMI. Now, could that be a possibility where you're telling us that some of these trusts don't really exist?
Correct. There's always that possibility, and I've experienced it.
And is that one of the places that we should be able to find these trusts, is on the SEC or the Edgar data search or the websites? Or are they all guaranteed to be there if they are in fact a real securitized trust?
They should be, but I will tell you this, working, if anybody's ever been on the SEC website, my gosh, it's a bear. And it's tough to maneuver through. And that's why I have a contact inside where I actually email. And they actually sometimes will provide me the links to where those are. So you going on that Edgar, and there also is a pro series of Edgar, which is a little easier, but it's subscription based. But most of where I look at, most of my stuff is all subscription based, because it'll actually provide, and I provide to you, the prospectus, which is when they sold it to New Hampshire Pension. So, but again, that might be something that doesn't exist. Yes, sir.
Hi, there is a statute of limitation to request the QWR. Is a statute of limitation? That's
No.
my question.
No.
Because the attorney from the plaintiff say that I'm not allowed to get any answer because my time was expired.
Okay.
So it's not true.
Well, there is a time frame, but not a time frame for you to request that information. That is, if your loan's 30 years, you have 30 years to request that information.
Well, they deny me the information.
It was an attorney that sent you a letter?
Yes.
See, there you go. Another rotten attorney. Probably worked for Deutsche Bank.
Bill, since all these notes are securitized, what's your experience on trying to track down the QSIP numbers on the actual security, tracking the payments just to demonstrate in court that these things are paid and already completed?
Absolutely. You get the QSIP numbers. The QSIP numbers will actually tie the actual certificates and the bondholders to that actual trust. Yes.